flat vessel!
Hey, it's Geraint. Welcome to GDD Coaching Analysis. The superstars of the French team, like Antoine Dupont, Charles Ollivon and Matthieu Jalibert, get much deserved spots in the limelight. However, there's another key member of the team who's quietly rewriting what it means to be a fullback in the modern game. This video shines a spotlight on Le Général Brice Dulin, and in doing so, we'll take a look at the range of skills needed to be a fullback. So, what's so good about Brice Dulin? Just before we dive in, please do leave me a comment down below to let me know what you think, and indeed please do hit the like button and subscribe, as it really helps the channel grow. Let's get into it. Dulin's influence on France's dramatic win against Wales, which I'm not over by the way, was apparent from the outset. From the very first kick-off, Dulin is positioned on France's left side, which enables him to offer a second kicking option should Dupont feel too pressured to box kick, or if France simply want to kick for distance rather than for height. And it's a distance option that they would tend to go for from inside their own 22, with a halfway being the target. As soon as the ball leaves his boot, he's straight into his role as the backfield general. He's now a part of a two-man backfield along with his lieutenant Jalibert in what's called a 13+2 defence. He and Jalibert will remain deep and won't push up to the edge unless they have to, and that's a key difference to a pendulum defence. Dulin will use the post as his guide and won't cross that point unless Jalibert had to push up, which is when the pendulum aspect comes into play. Their jobs are to protect the touchlines, to defend any line breaks, and to push up on the edge when needed and defend a range of kicks used in the modern game, including a big trend, the crossfield bomb. This tactic is very much a response to the 13+2 and aims to isolate catchers as they're disconnected from their support. Notice Brice Dulin. He places himself directly under the ball to prevent Dulin from getting a clear jump, and is focused on preventing a clean catch more than actually catching the ball himself, and indeed he then gains a knock on. But just moments later, Dulin was able to get his own back and put into play another key skill for a fullback, the kick and chase. Technique is everything here. His eyes are fixed on the ball, and like a high jumper, he jumps off his back leg and raises his front leg while twisting in the air, and this technique gives him more lift off the jump, and indeed it protects him from the collision with Gareth Davies in the air. Next, notice he's got his arms extended with his elbows in tight and his palms are facing upwards, and he completes a lovely catch, turning the defence into attack for France. Now those skills are pretty pan à la Bourré for a fullback, but Dulin's X factor is in what he sees more than what he does. From this typically long and infield kick exit from Wales, Dulin quickly moves the point of attack and immediately scans in front, looking for opportunities, always thinking a few steps ahead. But this time, Wales had run and kick options covered, so Dulin moves into organisation mode. But just listen to Josh Adams here. Demonstrating just how much of a threat Le Magicien Dupont poses, with Justin Tipperick acting as his chaperon across the field. Just a few phases later, with the outstanding Welsh defence holding strong, Jalibert opts to push Wales back into the same corner, and a peculiar kick choice from Gareth Davies gives Dulin the extra bit of time and space to hatch a plan to break the Welsh defence. Unlike the previous kick receipt, Dulin notices the Wales haven't covered the chip kick option and have Tipperick in the front line rather than the backfield, and importantly, Gareth Davies holds deep, forming the 13+2 with Liam Williams. Here, Dulin makes an excellent decision to feed Aldrit, which forces the Welsh defence to set, and next level communication tells Jalibert and Dupont to flood through for the kick, and every detail of this finish is executed to perfection. Dulin uses an end-over-end kick as the ball is more likely to pop up. Jalibert carries above his waist in the middle of his body, keeping both passing options alive, and he passes with square hips at the last moment, forcing Gareth Davies to bite. And Dupont? Well, Dupont does what Dupont does best. He's in the right place at exactly the right time. Now, set-piece defensive duties are the toughest of the lot, and centre-field scrums top the difficulty charts. Notice Dulin starts behind the scrum and tracks play inside the ball, constantly reading whether there's a kick coming or if he needs a close, as he does here with Jonathan Davies breaking the line, and I love Dulin's bravery to stop the outstanding Scarlet centre. 10 minutes or so later, he's back in a similar position, but this time, the frontline defence holds strong to Wales' clever 8 play. Dulin now forms the key role in France's 14+1 defence, where he's the only player in the backfield, and just look how quickly he sees the threat, and makes a beeline for the edge, beating Brice Dulin to the ball. The nature of that 14+1 defence does really expose the backfield, particularly with the way Wales are playing. Adam Beard here distributing like a 10, and Super Tipperick grubbering into space, and a combination of Josh Adams kicking and Thomas Williams diving leads to a lovely try, but Dulin almost makes the most incredible save, tucking his body under Adams, but that single blade of grass was enough for a try to stand. En avant. Now if there's one area Dulin gets marked down, it's in the air, and as happened a few times, Liam Williams here just gets slightly higher and picks the ball out of Dulin's grasp, but he doesn't give up, and he reaches with his right arm, just catching Williams' elbow, causing a knock-on. Excellent. But above anything, the thing that makes Dulin so good, and the last thing we're going to look at, is his relentless work rate off the ball and his ability to play multiple roles in attack. Here with 10 minutes to go, he supported the ruck, and now immediately works to reload into position, and like a red rag to a bull, an overload opportunity gets him screaming around the corner, taking a pass of Dupont and giving a delightful one-handed offload to Antoine, who takes and gives to Ollivon. What a tackle from Liam Williams to prevent the score. But repeated offences saw Taulupe Faletau get a yellow card, and France continued to pile on the pressure. This was a massive series of events. Callum Sheedy is given the opportunity to clear, but instead of going to touch, he stuck to Wales' infield policy, giving, yes, you guessed it, Dulin the opportunity to scan for opportunities, to step and then pass to Vincent. And although Williams appears to have made a good tackle to come through the gate on his feet, he does seem to knock the ball out of Dupont's hands. And a second yellow for Wales, and a try of a Captain Fantastic Ollivon sets up the most unlikely of comebacks. Even with all that pressure, and down to 13 men, Wales had the opportunity to close the game out, but Aldrit uses his cunning here. Firstly, placing his hands on the shoulders of Nicky Smith to force him to ground, while then using his head and shoulders to drive Corey Hill to ground, and despite Hill popping straight back up to his feet, Luke Pearce awards the fatal penalty. This final passage of play, starting with a 7-man line-out and a driving maul, is hard for a Welshman to watch. But there's too many cool details in here to ignore. This passage of play is all about the accordion effect. France attack tight to the maul through Vincent, and then play what's called a flow pattern, or a same-way attack, using the forwards around the corner, and every time a tackle is made, you'll notice the Welsh defence getting tighter and tighter, like an accordion being pressed. Meanwhile, at this point, instead of continuing the flow, the French forwards reload, which is more typical of the style. And Dulin slots in a first receiver, aiming to now stretch the Welsh defence, or pull the accordion. But even though the Welsh team are out on their feet, they continue to defend. So France go back to the start of the phase play patterns, hitting short runners to condense the defence, and given how much fatigue there is, that single tight phase is enough to create an opening on the right side. And Jalibert, Fickou and Penaud combine again to force tired Welsh legs to chase, tackle and reset into defensive shape again. Now to create a perfect attacking picture, France play one further phase, taking them to the touchline. And this is a huge moment. Wales have got Thomas Williams and Tipperick on the edge, and Holo, North, Adams and Rhys Sammet on the blind side of the ruck, which enter Max spots and cause for Dulin to get wide. While Adams tells the highly fatigued North to fold, Rhys Sammet stays. So when Serra hits the pod off 9, there's now too much for Rhys Sammet to do, to get across to defend the overlap. A tidy little pull-out play from Ollivon to Antoine does enough to commit the inside Welsh defence, just enough to give Fickou the opportunity to show his class. And I can't express how good this is. He's running a J line, so he's initially arcing his run and then straightens up and pumps the pass before releasing, and importantly, he's looking at the space and not the Vincent, and passes over his outside leg, known as a blocking pass, which forces North to bite, and Vincent too nails his straighten, turning Williams in and allowing Dulin to seal the win for France. Breaking Welsh hearts, including my own in the process. I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment down below to let me know what you think. And indeed, don't forget to hit the like button because it really does help the channel grow. Until next time.